Hello, YouTube. This is Bash bringing you here for semifinals matchup against Krypto and the Amityville Amphros. His team consists of Mega Alakazam, Scolipede, Infernape, Lander, Therian, Rotomo, Tapu Fini, Klefki, Barbarical, Umbreon, and Quoted. With my team consisting of Torrentee, Mega Dante, Jirachi, Rillaboom, Skuntank, Palisand, Entei, Como, Melodic, and Trapage. And I'll go. I guess you guys should definitely check out the team builder that I have. Um, it went up yesterday. Just definitely check it out. So I'll go into in depth about the team I am bringing against him and what I thought about his team. One thing I will say, coming into this match, one of the sets got messed up when I set it over when I brought it over to this match. I guess we'll get into that when it comes up to. Actually, no. I'll just say now. Originally my Rillaboom was bulk up, but then I switched it for the game to be SD, and I had that in the team builder as SD. But actually, in this game, it's bulk up. For some reason, I don't know why. I guess it didn't save correctly. I have no idea, but it came up as bulk up, and I was really, I don't know. So, um, yeah, basically, I'll just go into the depth about the team real quick, like a really brief thing. Mega Nancy is Rock Polish, Moonblast, Diamond Storm, Mystical Fire, Jirachi, Choice Scarf, U-Turn, Iron Head, Ice Punch, Stealth Rocks. Milotic is Recover, Scald, Haze, Mirror Coat. Torrentee is Heavy Duty Boots, Hurricane, Heat Wave, U-Turn, Taunt, Regenerator. Pepe Le Pew, the Skuntank, is Black Sludge with Crunch, Poison Jab, Pursuit, Defog, very Spadef for Mega Alakazam. And Rillaboom is sub. It's supposed to be SD, but it's bulk up. Drum beating and high horsepower with leftovers. Grassy Surge, very HP invested and attack vested with Animate Nature. So, yeah. To go into this, what he ended up bringing. So Krypto ended up bringing Lander, Therian, Rotom, Tapu Fini, Klefki, Scolipede, and Infernape. I was shocked there was no Mega Alakazam. Mega Alakazam is terrifying. I literally had to build this one mon just for Mega Alakazam, so it was kind of like, well, I don't understand why I don't understand why he didn't bring it, but like, yeah, oh well, I don't know what to say. Yeah, that was a pretty interesting bring. Let's see. Okay. I kind of had a feeling some of these spawns would come. I knew Tapu Fini was coming, knew Klefki was coming, and Fernape was coming. I knew those three for a fact were coming. I wasn't sure about Lander or Therian again with Grassy Surge being on my side. And like I mean, it was nice to offensively pressure Mega Nancy and Jirachi and like stuff like that, but like other than that, it really like I was, I guess, I don't know. What was I gonna say? Rotomo. I wasn't really that shocked about it because I felt like maybe he wanted something to pressure down the Milotic because Milotic is an issue otherwise. With Tapu Fini, which could Tapu Fini could be really helpful with that, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, that's the team he ended up bringing. So based off of this team, I'm expecting into Choice Scarf and Fernape, Hazard Stack or Endeavor, Scolipede, Spadef, Klefki with Flash Cannon, or I think he gets Iron Head. Probably Iron Head. I don't know. Tapu Fini, expecting a taunt Tapu Fini. I don't know what set otherwise it would like. I don't know what coverage would be exactly, but I expect taunt to come. Rotom, I'm expecting to either be defensive or very offensive, like Choice Scarf, Choice Specs could be a bring. I guess per se. And Lannister Therian, I didn't know what to say for that. Maybe rocks, stealth rocks, maybe I don't know. Assault vest, I don't know. I wasn't really sure what Landorus would be this game, to be honest. I didn't think Choice Scarf was that good with me having Rillaboom and Torn T, and the fact that Choice Scarf Jirachi outspeeds that. But like, it also is really good for pressuring Skuntank. So I don't know. And Mega Nancy for Choice Scarf, so I don't know. But let's go into this match. I believe I lead off with um, Torn T. Yeah, I lead off Torn T, and I'm just gonna click Heat Wave here on the light screen. Oh, this is going pretty slow. Yeah, whatever. I'll go into real depth. Heat Wave does 24% showing this is max death. Then I make a stupid play and I U-turn instead of hard switching into Skuntank. As now my Torn T is Thunder Wave. At least I get this U-turn off, which means I can go to Skuntank and I can just defog this light screen away, causing it to be less of an issue. This thing could like Ruffy can't do much to this at all. And the Skuntank is very the only thing I really needed to is defog and poison jab. I guess it could be like a nice pivot for Rotom Loud, but like the main job was for Mega Alakazam, so like I'm not really worried about this. So I'm just gonna defog, get these hazards away in the light screen, um, and I think I double into Tornty, see what he wants to do. As he sets up another light screen, which is interesting to know. Um, I'm just gonna double back out to Skuntank to see what he wants to do. Um, this is kind of also wasting some of this PP, to be honest. But I'm going to just defog again. I see go Scolipede, which is fine. I'm going to go out to my Milotic at this point, just to see what he wants to do if he goes for Earthquake. So I can get my Flame Orb also going. But he goes for a Sub. And I was like, okay, first off, I know Sub Pass is allowed in this league, but Sub with Speed Pass is not allowed. So as soon as I see the Speed Boost, I know this is two options, right? There's either this is Sub SD, which I don't think was a good bring against me with me having Como Palisand, um, or or is Endeavor, which is what I thought he would bring. Um, very very possible for Endeavor, to be honest. Let's see this real quick. Yeah. But which kind of makes me wish that I brought Palisand, to be honest, in this matchup, because Palisand would have been pretty nice then for this. But yeah, he goes for the sub, gets the speed boost. I'm just gonna Scald to break his sub kind of thing. See what you want to do. Shows poison jab, so he's not SD. So I'm guessing he is in fact Endeavor, sub Endeavor. Um, and he's just going to keep summing down, which makes me know for a fact that he is in fact that. I believe I go for another Scald here, one more Scald, or do I think I Scald one more time here? Yeah, I Scald one more time, and then this is the play, right? So I need Milotic for this game. Milotic is really good for Landorus. It's really good for Infernape. It can help with Klefki because Klefki can't Thunder Wave me down. It does set up spikes against me, but that's kind of annoying. But here's my least important member at this point was Skuntank, right? Because Skuntank was built for Mega Alakazam, and there's a possibility if he goes for Endeavor, he goes for a sub. Probably goes for a sub here, right? He goes for Endeavor the next turn. There's a chance that like he might think I'm Sucker Punch and might try to switch out. So that's like another thing I want to keep in mind for this. I'm gonna go switch out into Skuntank at this point. Um, as he goes for another sub here, and brings him down to 1%, right? So now my play here at this point is to, I believe, Crunch. I think I show the Crunch here. Yeah, he goes for the Endeavor, brings me down to 1%, yes. And I'm going to go for the Crunch. Um, I do get the Crunch. I break the sub. And here's the play, right? Because he probably thinks I have Sucker Punch instead of Pursuit at this point. Because honestly, I don't know. I don't see him thinking I have 3 Dark type moves. And Sucker Punch is really good for Mega Alakazam, for Scolipede setup, for what's it called? What was the last one? I thought it was for. Did I say Landorus Terrian? Barbarical, which is really good. So, I'm gonna go for Pursuit. I'm gonna make this play because I do not want this dealing with around. if he ends up taking me out with like poison jab, which I'm sure poison jab would take me out at this point. Um, yeah. And actually, he actually has earthquake as the last move, by the way. But yeah. So if this takes me out, so be it. But he ends up switching out, trying to save this from Sucker Punch because he still wanted something out of this to get Endeavor off flavor. So I'm going for the pursuit and make the play right there. And he goes into Infernape. Now, here's the thing: I should have saved this here. I could have brought this in back on Klefki and gone off like a defog or something like that on the T spikes, the spikes, the light screen, whatever. I could have gotten some recovery off of that, and it would have been nice to keep hazards off the field. But I could have went into Torn here, which was probably the best play for me, especially since Torn was paralyzed, so he wasn't doing much other than pivoting now. But it goes down, Skuntank goes down, and Fernie gets the U-turn off, and he goes into Klefki, right? So now that's a huge problem for me, because now I don't have the best way to deal with Klefki unless I want to get paralyzed. And he's going to get spikes up for free. He's going to get, like, have a stack on me all over. So I'm going to go Torn T and just taunt this thing. And I make some dumb plays here. So I'm gonna U-turn here on this as I get paralyzed, and then I'm going to U-turn on this play, and I get paralyzed, and I'm like, wow, it's going great. Torty doesn't like to listen to me, so I finally get the U-turn off, but by this time the taunt's over, so I'm gonna go pivot out to Jirachi, and then I'm gonna pivot back into Torty, predicting the Thunder Wave to come out because he wants the Thunder Wave Jirachi so badly. I'm guessing like this, like to cause that to not be a flinch shenanigans per se. So he goes for a Thunder Wave. I go back into Torn T, and I'm going to go off and get a taunt off on this thing again. But I get paralyzed, so now he's able to get another spike up, and I get paralyzed this turn. So now he has 2 spikes on the field. Now I can't get rid of them at all, which is kind of annoying. So I finally get the taunt off here, but it's too late now at this point. And I'm just gonna hard switch into Jirachi, which I should have done the first time to be honest. But like I can't really do anything about that. But those pairs kind of sucked for late game, a lot throughout the most of the game because now he's got hazards. Now I'm not really. He hazard stacked me a little bit, and now it's gonna be a problem for the rest of my team. I'm just gonna Iron Head, try to bring this thing down a bit. Because I'm just gonna go for another Iron Head. I take it out. Oh wait, yeah. He goes into Landorus T, and I get the Iron Head. I get the crit. Now that sucks. It does suck a lot. Because Lando T is basically if I get another Iron Head off, Lando T goes down. If I flinch him. To keep in mind, I didn't flinch Klefki at all, but that's just asking for hacks for whatever. Even though it's not really hacks, but yeah, Jirachi did get the crit, which really sucks for Lando T. I don't know exactly what he would have done right there at that point because my Loic was still kind of free. I could get a free recover off on it, to be honest, which probably would have been my play, or going toward T. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know. So I'm just going to go for another Iron Head. Try to go for the flinch at that point, and he goes into Infernape, which resists this. It's not taking much, and I know this is Choice Scarf. It's like 100% Choice Scarf. So I'm just going to Torn T pivot here. I live a Flare Blitz. I lived a Flare Blitz from Infernape at that point. So I mean, and I dealt with a close combat in case he wanted to go for that, which wouldn't be that bad of a play. He goes to U-turn. He can get back into Klefki, but he goes into Rotom Mel. And he goes for a Volt Switch now. With my set, let me check this real quick. I just want to check this. I don't think that that was a roll. I thought it was during the game because I was thinking this was Choice Scarf Rotom. I'm gonna play my game like it's Choice Scarf Rotom. So he ended up taking me out. I'm pretty sure it wasn't a roll because of the it was actually Expert Bell. I would just keep that in mind for later on. But I thought it was Choice Scarf. I'm gonna just go for a recovery here. Get off as much HP as possible in this game. As he goes into Rotom Bell, I'm gonna recover. Nothing. Nothing he does will kill me at this point. I think other than maybe a Leaf Storm, max like a higher roll Leaf Storm. So I'm just gonna recover, expecting the Volt Switch. But he actually crits me, which kind of sucks for my Lodic's longevity. Because I could have went for Mirror Coat there, but like I wanted to make scout what he wanted to do, and get the recover off here. Part of also the reason was to get maybe if he goes back into Rotom, I can make the play into um, Rillaboom on the Grassy Surge, and I could get a sub up on it. That was part of the play. But that Volt Switch crit kind of sucks because it put me at like a lot lower amount of HP. I would have been like back up to the amount I usually was if it wasn't for the crit. I would be up like a lot higher, and it would make it easier to deal with Infernape and Lando T, and even Klefki to an extent too. But because of that, I am forced to leave Melodic at a pretty like low amount of health for what I wanted to be come out of in the situation. As Tapu Fini is probably gonna have taunt. That's why he brought it in. I mean, it's the best way to answer me anyway. It was his best to switch in anyway. So, but I'm just gonna have to go into Rillaboom here, because this is why also the spikes suck, because at this point my Loke is so low that like the only way I'm getting a recover off is if he's like locked into Flare Blitz. Um, I think maybe depending on his sets, I forgot exactly the calcs. Or if he goes into Klefki, I could get one off. But that's the like maybe Landorus depending. But that's the only way I'm getting a recover off in this match. Um, I think at this point, because with spikes up and burn, I'm gonna be pretty low. So I mean, or I have to sack something to get my load again to recover, and I don't think that's really like at this point, like it's not really my end game because like, yeah, it's just not my end game at this point because the crit just put me so low. It's not worth it for me to get myself all the way back up by stacking something off because every single part of this team right now is very important for the end game, for possibly bringing this game back. Because at this point, so here's the point, right? So Rillaboom wins if I get rid of Infernape. Rillaboom has actually, I'll just put this. Rillaboom has a really good chance to win if Infernape is gone. If Klefki is gone, Mega Nancy has a really good chance to win this game. If Infernape is gone and Klefki doesn't Thunder Wave, and I'm in Misty Terrain, I guess, with Jirachi, technically, I could win the game with Jirachi, but like that's just unbelievable. I don't want to go down that path. And my Lodic could win this game if Rotom Mo was gone and this thing was weakened. I guess if I had Rillaboom also, I guess per se, because Rillaboom pressures this a butt ton. So I'm gonna get Grassy Surge up. He goes for the taunt. So I kind of expected that. Part of the reason why I switched hard into this, but that means I can't sub up on the switch or anything like that. And I'm just gonna go for a drum beating, take this down. If he's defensive, that's gonna do a butt ton. Like it's still gonna do a butt ton to him, which it does lowers his speed, and he goes for Nature's Madness. Now, here's the play here at this point because I'm getting like a good amount of HP back. He's getting a good amount of HP back. So I can make the prediction that he's going for high horsepower going into Infernape, but I don't think that's the right play for him at all anyway. So I'm just going to go for the drum beating again, just in case he goes to Landorus T, sacks that off. Which he does, gets the Intimidate off, which is kind of annoying, but like that thing's dead. And now he gets to bring in Infernape here, which is kind of annoying because now I'm basically forced to sack off my Lodic. Yeah, he goes to Infernape, and I have to sack off my Lodic at this point. If I didn't get the crit, if he didn't get the crit earlier, if he didn't get the crit, that my Lodic would be at a lot higher health and be able to take on Infernape a lot better. Even if he went for a U-turn, I would be able to deal with it. But because of that, here we go. I am basically at a point where I can't recover off on anything. Unless he's locked into Flare Blitz or he's locked into Flash Cannon. At least I get the Grassy Terrain recovery, but yeah, I just gotta sack this thing. At this point, like I would have been at higher health. Spikes wouldn't have been an issue, and the Volt Switch crit would have been. If I would have been higher health if there wasn't for the spikes and the crit. But he goes back into Infernape, and here's my play. here's my play. I'm gonna go to Jirachi, and I want him to lock himself into Flare Blitz or Earthquake. Um, that is my play. Earthquake. I want him to lock himself into Flare Blitz or Earthquake. Because if he does that, Flare Blitz means Mega Nancy can come in, and I can just click Mystical Fire and try to two-shot Klefki with Light Screen. Because he'd get I do a bunch to that, and then I don't know. Another thing would be if he locked himself into Earthquake, I could go into Rillaboom and set up a sub for free, and I could win that game through that because he does not deal with sub Rillaboom at this point. If Infernape is if I get a sub up for free, like his team loses, I think to straight up, and Rillaboom gets a sub up because that's my end game at this point. Despite all that's happened, how I played Tilted too, I made some really bad plays with Torn-T. We can still bring this game back. I just need to see what he wants to do with his Infernape. Now, I'm gonna go Jirachi, right? So this is my play, right? Jirachi at this point is pretty useless per se against his team, other than probably outspeeding Rotom and I guess pressuring Klefki. I don't know. I mean, like, here's the thing. So Klefki Thunder Waves Jirachi, which makes it pretty much useless overall. But the one thing I will say is that Jirachi. This is my game. This is my play. This is my play 100%. I have to do this if I want to possibly win this game because Infernape gets to have like a free Flare Blitz or Earthquake or whatever. If he goes for CC, that's he doesn't. I believe he doesn't take me out at this point. But I don't know. He goes for U-turn, which is probably the best play he could make right there. Honestly, because I get to go for Iron Head here, take this thing down, and then this is a roll here too, also. But like, so I did the crit doesn't really matter as much, but it was a roll at that point, I believe. But Jirachi comes out on top of this, and he goes into Infernape. And here's the thing: so at this point, he can lock himself into close combat. Now, Jirachi goes down. So, my play is going to Mega Nancy, I think, at this point. One thing I will say, so, my game, at this point, I realize my end game, per se. If I go Mega Nancy, I think he's going to Klefki, because he needs Infernape to beat the Rillaboom at this point. 100%. Because Rillaboom could beat these two mons here. Both of them. At this point, high horsepower takes out Klefki. I could possibly beat Rotom 1v1 with the leftovers Grassy Surge. But the Infernape's the one thing standing in the way of Rillaboom. So my play is going to Mega Nancy, and I'm going to. And my play is I have to attack first of all. Like either way, I'm either clicking Diamond Storm or Mystical Fire this turn. That's the two plays I have. That's the two plays I have. I cannot Rock Polish. I do not take out Klefki. Klefki will take me out with Flash Cannon, I think, at this range with the spikes up, which keep in mind that comes into play. So what I'm gonna do is predict the Mystical Fire. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to Mystical Fire on the Klefki switch in, bring it really, 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 really low, and then I'm going to Rock Polish on that next turn. The reason I'm going to Rock Polish is because I know he's going to go for the Light Screen, right? So my way of winning this game is to get a sub up on Rillaboom on Klefki at this point, and what I'm thinking. Because I guarantee he's going to save Infernape, because Infernape is his only way really of taking down Rillaboom at this point. So that's why I'm going to go into Mega Nancy here. And I'm going to go for the Mystical Fire. Because if he's at -2 special attack, Klefki can't. The only thing Klefki could do to me is Thunder Wave me. and I'm not really that worried about Thunderwave at this point. Um, so that means that I can, because Flash Cannon will not be able to break a sub. So that's something to keep in mind. So I'm gonna go here, Mega Nancy, and he actually stays in close combat. So great play on his part, because that meant this game might be over. There was a small chance I win this game. There's a couple ways I could possibly win this game, but it's looking really low. The one thing I will say is I do get full grassy turns up at least, which is nice for me. So here's the thing. Wait, yeah. So I do get 5 turns of grassy terrain. So here's the thing. If he switches, what I think his play is to save Infernape because it's Choice Scarf and it beats it, right? So my play is to what I think he's going into is either Klefki or Rotom-Mow at this point. Either way, a drum beating would be nice to get off of him. Now, in my opinion, I think he goes off to Rotom-Mow and gets a Volt Switch pivot, which would be the best for him. So, with the set he actually isn't Choice Scarf. So what would have happened was, if he went in Rotom-Mow, which is what I totally expect him to do, because I think that's the best play he can make against my team, because I think he needs Infernape at this point. I get the jump beating off. Rotom-Mow doesn't outspeed me. I set up a sub on Rotom-Mow. He probably Volt Switches. Or Will-O-Wisp. Volt Switch, Will-O-Wisp, or Foul Play, I guess we'll say. Foul Play would be the worst case scenario, because that means he actually would beat me at that point. That would be GG if he had Foul Play, but he does not have Foul Play. Volt Switch or Will-O-Wisp would be the play. I think it would be. But he doesn't have Will-O-Wisp on the set. So Volt Switch would be the play. I would still have my sub up. Unless you try to break it with Leaf Storm, which means I just sub up again. And because the only problem would be is the fact that I realized at this point I have bulk up, which I said earlier. I have bulk up instead of SD. If that happened, I would have SD'd and just won the game from there. But nope, didn't bring it. So here we come to a point now where I'm just gonna drum beating. If I take out Infernape, good. I have a chance of still winning this game. I still have a chance. It's gonna come down to rolls though, because unless he tries to if he decides to Thunder Wave with Klefki or not, because Klefki does go down to highest horsepower. Rotom-Mow, like it's gonna come down to rolls, but he actually stays in, and I take out Infernape with drum beating. Now, Infernape is gone. Rillaboom is up to 21%. Now, his best play at this point is to go to Rotom-Mow at this point, because Rotom-Mow could take out Rillaboom at this point with the Leaf Storm if he's max special attack, which he is. He's timid max special attack. And Klefki can take me out with a Flash Cannon, but I outspeed Klefki. So the way he does that is he's probably going to click Thunder Wave, or I think I get with Klefki. But at this point, so because of that, I'm just gonna high horsepower. I can't do anything else anyway. So high horsepower takes him out, right? That means it comes down to Rotom-Mow and Rillaboom. Now, let me point out this. This turn basically determines the match. It basically determines this match, I guess per se. If he actually gets a min roll with Leaf Storm, because Leaf Storm does 30 to 36%, I believe is the exact count, which I looked up. So, if he gets a min roll on 30%, I would be left at 3%. I get the drum beating off. I outspeed. I get Leech Seed and Leftovers, which will put me it will put me at a chance where I am out of range of Rotomo's next Leaf Storm. He would have to get a higher roll on that one in order to take me out, I believe, is the calcs. So, that is one situation where things could go down. Two, if he will-o-wisp me, it's game over. I'm pretty sure if he will-o-wisp me, but he doesn't have will-o-wisp. So this is another situation. If he nasty plots, he's actually I'll tell you the exact set he is. He is Leaf Storm, Volt Switch, Nasty Pot, Disarming Voice with Expert Belt, Max Special Attack, almost max speed, with a little bit with 8 HP in it. So he could either Nasty Pot, he can Leaf Storm, risk the rolls, which if he actually Leaf Storms, here's the thing. So like this is the problem because he doesn't know my set. I don't know what he thinks my set is. He thinks I'm probably bulk up, right? He thinks I'm bulk up. Probably. I think at that point he thought I was bulk up, drum beating, high horsepower, and then like drain punch. I have not revealed the sub. The thing is, if he nasty pots and I get a drum beating off, I outspeed. I could sub waste. I could waste these Leaf Storms at this point. So. But there's a possibility that he actually could beat me with Nasty Pot Disarming Voice, which is kind of wild. But that's like that kind of the idea of this game at this point. This is where we're at. And it's kind of a crazy. This is kind of a crazy turn right here. And he misses Leaf Storm. And at that point, I am now out of range of Leaf Storm overall. I outspeed too, meaning that he. This is why I feel so bad about that turn. Him missing a Leaf Storm basically means the only way he's getting back in this game is if he crits. I was still thinking he was Toy Scarf too at this point, so I'm still thinking he outspeeds me. So I don't think the play is to sub at this point. So him missing a Leaf Storm right there is very crucial for the game because that basically means the only way he's winning this game at this point is if he crits me. Because at this point, I'm clicking drum beating. He can't nasty pot. Nasty pot. If I nasty pot, I'm clicking drum beating. I'm clicking drum beating again this turn. Drum beating. Even if he's Choice Scarf, no matter how much speed he has, true minus speeds will mean I outspeed with Rillaboom. So this is the play. This is the point of the match where that he basically needs a crit to win this game. Rillaboom, because Rillaboom two-shot to drum beating at this point. 100%. Like there's no rolls about it. 100% two KOs. So that's something to keep in mind. So I feel really sorry about that. And Krypto, if you're watching, I'm really sorry about that. I'm really sorry about this because it's. I'm really sorry about that. That play right there, just that miss, basically lost any chance other than crit for you winning this game. Because honestly, at this point, he was in a really good spot. If it wasn't for the miss, if he landed that, he was in a really good spot because he literally would have just needed to not get mid rolled on that and like a lower roll on the next turn. So yeah. Yeah. So at this point, I go for the drum beating, take him down. That means the next one will take him out. Reveals that he's not a Choice Scarf. He goes for Leaf Storm. That he got the higher roll, but it doesn't matter at this point. And yeah, the only way I'm at that point is if I misclick, which I don't. So we do move on to finals, but like, I don't know. It don't feel that amazing about this at all. I don't know. I don't know. It didn't feel like a huge win for me at all. Um, Now I did mention there was a lot of hacks throughout this game. Um, I crit his Landorus. I got the crit on top of Finny, which was just a roll. It was a higher roll I needed to get. But like, yeah, that meant I just didn't have to worry about getting a flinch or a higher roll, getting the crit there. Um, and then this. So that Leaf Storm was huge. That Leaf Storm miss was huge. I guess I could also talk about the stuff I talked about with the hacks. Because if I got that taunt off again with 20, or if I just hearts, if I didn't get like paralyzed all the time with 20, I would have been in a situation where there would have been less spikes up, right? So that would have took me out of range of Rillaboom anyway, of Rotomo. Um, and then the crit with Milotic. So the crit with Milotic would have mattered in the fact that I would have been able to still be able to switch into Infernape. And I would not have had to risk Mega Diancie right there. I could have just recovered with um, Milotic. What would have been the play was probably recover with Milotic at that point, and then as he probably went for U-turn, as because Milotic would still have been around, and I could have he probably would have went into Rotom Mo at that point, and um, and then I would have been out of range of anything he wanted to hit me with, unless he nasty plied, which would have been a huge issue if he nasty plied. I think I could have just lost right there. Unless Mega Nancy happened to pull it back for me. Um, but what could have happened was I could have recovered on that play. Um, as he went into a Volt Switch into Tapu Fini, I could have made a play into Rillaboom. Rillaboom would have probably he probably went for a taunt or Nature's Madness. Either one, I would have been fine with. I would have could have went for another drum beating, put a lot of pressure on him. Would have got myself a little bit higher and would have gotten a speed drop, meaning that he probably would have sacked off Tapu Fini at this point. And I could get my 8 HP back up a little bit from Grassy Turn and left over. I would have still had my Lodic around. Probably went Infernape. Infernape, I could have gone into my Lodic right there on the play, or I could have stacked up Rillaboom. Either way, this is a lot of theory modeling, by the way. I'm going really into depth of this because I really want to try to see what his plays would have been. Probably wouldn't went Infernape. Probably U-turn. To be honest, he probably would have U-turn. Let's be honest. So my play would either have gone into Mega Dynasty or Motherlook at that point. And I could have went to, I guess Jirachi would still have been a play, technically. I guess I could have U-turned it, could have gone to Jirachi, sacked that off. That's probably, actually, yeah, that probably would have been my play. Because Jirachi, if he went for a Flare Blitz or a U-turn, I still would have been in a really good situation because I would have outspat everything on his team. He probably would have went into the Klefki for getting the Thunder Wave off. The play would have been to go into Milotic, I think. Milotic probably would have been the play. Yeah, that's probably the play. I would probably want my Milotic. He probably would have had stacked me as I scald him, try to go for fishing for a bird because that's probably the way I would probably get back in this game. Then at that point, when I finally weakened down to Klefki, which he probably would have saved Klefki, I don't know at that point. He probably actually went with Rotom Mo. It would have been just a lot of maneuvering for the end game. I don't think I want to go too much more into that. But yeah, I don't know. It would have been interesting. I don't know at this point. It's pretty rough. But yeah, GG to Krypto. I'm sorry about that. We do make it to the finals where we're either playing A12 QSD or Dawn Miss. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but we played A12 a while back in UP. I think it was UPO. Yeah, UP. Yeah, I think it was. We played him in the finals and lost to him then. Would be loving to get revenge on him there. Dawn is very scary, too, as well, to be honest. Because Dawn is terrifying, actually. Just because he already knows what I brought against him. I brought like a lot of good sets against him. I know he's going to be prepped around that, so I want to keep that in mind. But yeah, GG. Nothing else I can really say about this match. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, Bash.